The European Union is scrambling to set up new economic partnerships as it confronts looming tariff threats from the US. EU President Ursula von der Leyen travelled to Delhi this week to strengthen trade and diplomatic ties with India. Deutsche Welle's Mathis Richtmann joins us now from Berlin. Mathis, g'day. So this week, US President Donald Trump said he would slap 25% tariffs on goods from the EU. Can strengthening ties with India solve the potential headaches that could cause the Europeans?
Yeah, well, let's first of all take a closer look at what Mr. Trump said on Wednesday. He told reporters imports from the EU could be subjected to 25% duties, but then spoke about tariffs on specific products such as cars. So it isn't immediately clear what Mr. Trump meant, which goods could be targeted, and what a possible implementation date would be. So what is clear, however, is that Mr. Trump is ramping up the rhetoric against former close trading partners of the United States. The EU has said it is ready to retaliate and reportedly already has a list of American goods prepared that would be hit by European sanctions. Which brings us then to Ms. von der Leyen's visit to India. Before leaving, she said in a statement, and I quote, "In this area of intense geostrategic competition, Europe stands for openness, partnership, and outreach. We seek to deepen ties with our most trusted friends and allies, India." Now, the European Union is India's largest trading partner already, and deepening those ties could certainly be a push to the bloc's ailing economies.
So what does this mean, this new geopolitical situation mean for European companies?
Companies here have felt a series of geopolitical shocks. Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine brought energy dependence on Russia to the forefront. Many chemical companies here in Germany, for example, are struggling with more expensive gas prices. Then there's trade dependence with China. Last year, the EU slapped tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles, an attempt to safeguard European auto industries that are struggling to remain competitive with Chinese-built battery-powered cars. And that trade escalation sits within a more general political push to ask European companies to leave their China business. But companies here don't seem to comply with that ask very much, which again leads back to Ms. von der Leyen's visit to India. The subcontinent's economy is growing massively and would be a large market for European goods to diversify away both where European companies can sell, but also where European companies can source materials from.
Yeah, well, going back to that trip to India, what's expected out of that?
So, as a signal how important those consultations are to the Europeans, the EU president is traveling with a very large entourage. An EU-India trade agreement has been in the pipeline for 18 years now, but those negotiations are still ongoing. The EU wants to urge India to lower tariffs on cars and wine to boost trade, while it suggested it could be flexible on agriculture to expedite those trade agreement talks. On the other hand, collaborating on technology and intellectual property rights are set to be high on the agenda on those talks. And the EU is already pushing together with India the idea of a new trade corridor between the two economies to challenge China's dominance. So there are many things to talk about if both countries want to deepen their ties.
OK, we'll leave there. Mathis Richtmann in Berlin.